Driveline R&D podcast, episode 34. This house Caravan, co-host, co-swag manager of baseball analytics, drinking a specialty drink. Your boy got the most ratchet thing you could get. Razzballs, cocktails, tequila Rita. Take it away, Lindley.
Kyle Lindley, Driveline R&D engineer, drinking a fresh hop from Fresh Hops Beer from Cloudburst Splash Waterfalls, courtesy of director Joe Marsh. Shout out.
Okay, dude. Just because he's our boss doesn't mean he has good beer taste.
True. And I'm Anthony Brady, the primary host of the Driveline R&D Research and Drinks podcast, episode 34. I'm drinking the Cloudburst Ultra Wet, fresh wet hops, also courtesy of Joe Yabin. So fresh hop season. Very excited about that. And today we have a guest, Luisa Gauci, who's drinking a Vegemite smoothie.
No, not today. I'm actually drinking a protein shake because I just finished working out, my friends.
Oh. Okay, so a protein shake with Vegemite in it, I think.
Funny jokes today. Hilarious.
No,
and Anthony, I think you misspoke. I'm actually the primary host of today's episode. So
no, I don't think that's right. Okay, we can clip that out. That'll be fine. No one will know about that.
No, I'm super proud of Luisa. Didn't you just start working out this week? That's awesome. You're already like having protein shakes and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Learning quick.
Hey, Alex, how many pull-ups did you do the other day? Oh, wait, no, muscle-ups. That's right. Sorry. Ooh. If you want to go on my Twitter, my second day at Driveline, you'll see that Alex Caravan cannot do a muscle-up at all. So
wow,
funny you said that one.
The podcast has started off way too contentious off the bat.
It is funny. It is funny because check out this video of me doing muscle-ups. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have video of me doing muscle-ups on my phone?
It's tough because we can A, barely see that, and B, barely hear you. But
yeah.
We get the point. I think we get the point. Okay, guest episode, Luisa, brand new, hitting intern at Driveline Baseball. What, you started last week, a week and a half ago?
Today will be day 17 on my Twitter feed.
Okay, so 2.
Yeah.
So you're into week 3. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so into week 3. Yes, Luisa, she plays baseball. She's all right. I mean, a fake 100-mile-an-hour exit velo last week.
Hey, if Repsoder said it, it must be right.
I mean, it's kind of BS. She was tweeting out a misread. Whatever. It's cool. You can fool some people, but as long as you know that was fake, I guess that, is what matters. But yeah,
I know,
Luisa,
man. It's the road to the show. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get drafted this year.
Exactly. Just throw up the 100-mile-an-hour exit velos.
Yep.
Luisa's from Australia. Now living in the States. Thoughts so far? Seattle?
Yes.
Is this your first time in Seattle?
Yes, it is. I was here on a layover to Alaska last year. So
what did you go to Alaska for?
Yeah, I was playing baseball in Alaska actually. That was my first last year summer. We went to Alaska and we versed the Gold Panners.
Oh, you went to Fairbanks?
That was my first time where people actually cared that like I was a girl playing baseball. And then I ended up like making CBS and stuff. And that's kind of like how it started. Where
do you remember when?
Oh yeah. Pardon?
Do you remember when you went to Fairbanks? Was it like June?
Yeah, it was July in last year.
Did you stay at the dorms?
Yeah, we did.
How crazy is it that it doesn't get dark ever?
We played wiffle ball outside until like 2:00 in the morning every single day. Yeah. It was amazing.
We played played in the midnight sun game. So
they canceled, like we had like a really big series. They canceled a lot of it because we were there during the fires. So we actually couldn't be outside. Yeah. Okay. It was crazy. Like we had to wear masks like everywhere. We couldn't be outside longer than 15 minutes. So we only ended up playing for 3 days when we were there for over a week. And then they just condensed every game. So it was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we played in the midnight sun game. I mean, it was like the weirdest thing. It was 1 a.m. There were no lights, and we were just playing like a normal baseball game with like fine lighting. But I distinctly remember those dorms being terrible because like the blinds were so shitty, and
they didn't work.
It was just sunny at all times. Like the sun was just like through the window, and like couldn't sleep at all. It was like
I was super lucky. I packed my eye mask, so I was fine.
That's clutch. Yep. That's clutch. Yeah, we took beds from like the other rooms and like stuffed them into the windows to like try to make the rooms dark because they were just so
yeah,
bright.
because there's like 3 bedrooms in each dorm. Like it's crazy. And then there isn't that many people on the team, so there's so many like spare rooms. And then they had like the bazooka, whatever the hell it's called, that like the kazoo.
Oh, like the vuvuzela thing?
Yeah, and the guy,
BJ's ice cream sandwich. It's called bazooka.
I think that isn't that a pazookie?
Yeah. No, something. You would know what they're called.
Okay.
Oh
right.
no!
Didn't need to go.
Luisa, you play at West LA?
Yeah, West LA College. Yeah,
okay.
It's a JUCO. I'm on that JUCO grind.
And what? So. Yeah, JUCO grinder. What position do you play? I actually never asked you this.
I play second base because you know I'm really short. I don't throw 90 from the outfield, and I don't throw 90 from the mound. So
it will be soon, very shortly.
Yeah,
you're training.
Training here. Yeah, exactly. But I play second base.
Lucy, you want to drop some stats for perspective? So people know you're a badass.
Well, non-misread exit velo is 83, and my PR velo was 70. What else? My 60-yard times. Oh, my deadlift is 365.
These are all higher than Caravan. This is very impressive.
My bench is 135.
And that's actually higher than Brady.
That is actually higher than me. That is actually higher than me.
But that is legitimately higher than Brady.
Yeah, it's like legit. Yeah, it legitimately is. It legitimately is.
Wait, so on the scouting scale, on the women's scouting scale that you created, you're probably higher than Caravan, right?
Exactly right.
That's incredible.
That's one of the reasons why I created it, because it was just like, I'm sick of just trying to prove to people that like I'm actually like good, but it was I never like read well on the men's scale, and I was just so frustrated with the fact I'd have to like sit down with people, or they'd have to come out and see me play and be like, oh look, you're actually not that bad. But like like on a men's scale, they're just like, wow, you're just like so average, or you're just like a high school player. Why would we want you on the team?
Do you want to go into it? Do you want to talk about like your the scouting scale made you famous, that got you a couple hundred Twitter followers? Almost as many as Lindley's, but so decent chunk right off the gate.
I still have more Twitter followers than the other hitting intern, Noah Tham. So
let's go.
That's one of the things that I continue to thrive for, and I'm trying to beat John in the hitting department as well with his Twitter followers. So.
John?
Oh, that's me tough.
He is.
Content's better.
A content grinder.
Yeah, your content's better, but he's a content. He's for sure like. I don't want to use any. John does what he can, right? Like not all of us have good content, so he just like, hey, Alan Nathan, check out this article. Hey, POB guy, thought you might like me doing math, but you got to give it to him. He does try. So.
Hey, he quote tweets me, so I can't complain. But yeah, I could go into my scouting scale. Actually. This is the second time I've presented this at a SABR conference. The first time I presented it in Boston, only one person thought it was good. It got a lot of feedback, but a lot of people just didn't understand what it was. And I don't think I even understood what I was even talking about. The only reason I actually presented at a conference was because I won scholarship money. So I didn't know what it was. This was my first intro into sabermetrics in baseball. I didn't even know there was sabermetrics in baseball. All I saw was that they were giving out diversity scholarships for women who speak. And I was like, I can think of something. I'll think of something to speak about. So I just talked about the inequities in baseball, and just the fact that compared against men, girls aren't great, And I, as a player, as a female player, I see that I see this directly through coaching, through what we have, access wise, and just people are uneducated, and they just don't really know that how to coach females, and people don't care enough to track data for them either, or they just don't know you could. So kind of that was my what I kind of talked about, and then I brought up stats from the Women's World Cup in 2018. I brought up every single country, and people don't process well with more than 2 or 3 things in a graph. I think. So me showing a graph of like 9 countries kind of just threw everybody off. So yeah, the concept was there, but I had no idea what I was talking about. It was my first experience. I didn't know.
And when was this? What month was this?
I'm not sure I understand.
Ooh.
Exactly. Exactly.
I said, what month is this?
It was August of 2019. Yeah, it was a month before my first year of college. So yeah, it was.
This is for women's baseball specifically, right?
Yeah. Well, the SABR conference was the normal one, like the one of the ones they usually do.
Right. Because I was going to say that even like when Lindley and I were at Slugfest last year, like that felt like it was the case for softball. So I can't even imagine like how much, worse in terms of like accessibility women's baseball would be comparatively, right?
It's non-existent. And again, I'm going to plug my hitting clinic that I'm doing at Driveline.
Nice.
Starting next week.
Yep.
But that's why I'm bringing that here, because in Australia, we did a really good job at getting like girls in grassroots level and building them up. So I know how successful that is. And currently we have like, I'm going to say we have a whole state titles, which is a whole tournament. And there's around 9 or 10 teams. So that's only in our state. That's how many players we had. So what? That's like 110 kind of girls playing right now.
How many states are there? Is there like 50?
Pardon?
How many states?
Like 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those are pretty weak numbers.
So yeah, that's why I want to bring it here to Seattle, because there's no women's teams here currently. And yeah, I just think that bringing it here shows girls that they don't have to play softball and that there are opportunities for females to continue on in the sport. So yeah, back to my scouting scale though. Yeah, I presented it last year. Didn't go like very well. I kept at it. When I had like more stats, I messaged Caravan. I was like, hey, I don't know how to do this. And then he helped me with my Excel spreadsheet. He did one line of it. And he said, okay, now just copy this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up finishing that, which is amazing. And then I presented it at the Women in Baseball SABR conference and got a lot of like positive feedback from that. Because again, I kind of cut it down and I presented in one graph, just like Australia. And I was like, here's how Australia compares like on the women's side to the men's scouting scale and then the women's scouting scale. And then this is why it works. And people like appreciated that. So yeah, so I've gotten a lot of like really positive comments from that. I've got a lot of people reaching out to me, wanting to like learn more about it, how to implement it into their women's team. And then they send me that more data. So this is, for me, it's like super exciting because now I can keep updating it. And hopefully by the end of the year, again, with like using some more like exit velo stuff here in the facility when I have the women's clinic going on. No, we'll be doing it off a machine.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we'll be doing it off a machine because we have access to that. And it's nice. Yeah, I like to keep my data clean. So we're gonna have the same kind of like concept for everybody here. So, I was
gonna ask. I watched your presentation yesterday from the Women in Baseball conference, and you mentioned in there that you want to extend it to like exit velocity, and then there was across the diamond velo or speed that you wanted to incorporate. Have you gotten any closer to being able to add that to the scouting scale? And also for people listening and watching, there's going to be a link. We can put a link to the presentation in the description.
And for people watching, this shit slaps, dude. Razzballs.
Buzzball, you mean?
This is strong.
It's a buzzball.
Buzzball? You can't even read it right? That's how much it slaps?
God. Yeah.
It's all the walking he's been doing. He's delusional.
Yeah.
That's also true.
So what I have done since then, I've updated the left-hand hitter to first base. I just like went on and like just kind of like Googled it. I was like, okay, I mean, this isn't like rocket science. I'll just like cut off like 0.10 of a second. So that's kind of what I did to like sort that out. But in saying that, I got more data in the past week to update that. So the home to first time for right-handed hitters for women is probably going to change by the end of the year anyway, because I have more like data points anyway. And then again, like that's going to change from there. Exit velo, I am getting closer to. again, like I got sent data, but I'm not going to use it because I don't know what they did with it. So for me, I'm not going to take data. I don't know how they set it up. They're not going to, if they don't provide me with like a sheet saying like, we did exactly this, or they show me with a video proof or something like that. I'm not making this like wishy-washy. I'm like making this like, it's going to be correct kind of thing. So I feel like I've been using my stuff here. And then again, like I'm going to be doing the women's clinic. So I'm going to be getting a lot more kind of out of there, and then reaching out to people externally again, to see what they have and the different things, because I don't think everyone has a HitTrax, but that's kind of the plan.
Definitely everyone doesn't have a HitTrax.
This is true.
Yeah.
Is there is there a powerhouse nation when it comes to like women's baseball? Is there one that's like
100%. Yeah. Japan.
Oh, really? I mean, I feel probably could have expected that.
Yeah, so they've won the World Cup the last 6 years in a row, I'm going to say.
Really? They're on like a 6th streak?
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's just like, it's not even close? Like,
it's close, but they always win.
To who? Is there like is there like a tier where it's like a couple teams at the top?
Yeah. So, okay, it's Venezuela, Australia, Japan, Canada, and USA.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. And Japan is just the top of that tier?
Japan is always the top. And like they've had the same MVP pitcher for years. Like I'm gonna say like 8-9 years.
Oh, wow.
She's been MVP. Yeah, she's like one of the best pitchers in the entire world. She's insane. Yeah. And her velo is like around 70. So and on my scouting scale, if you see it, it's pretty high.
Let's go. How does baseball in Australia compare to like you playing here, whether it's at the college level or just like training facilities?
Okay, I'll tackle the training facilities first. We have nothing like this in Australia, especially where I'm from. I'm from Brisbane. It's kind of a smaller city. We do not have anything. I love this place. I think the most training we ever did in like a single week was 3 days a week. And that was considered like, oh, you're part of like the elite program if you train 3 days a week. So coming here and then being able to train like 6 days consistently a week for the past over a year now has been insane and amazing. And now I realize like, oh my God, everyone's so good because they train every single day kind of thing. We don't have like any indoor facilities in my city, coaching wise.
It's just that good.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's not a market. There's no market for it.
Oh, okay.
So, like programs for us would cost like $100 to $300 for like 4 months of training, So it was, and I mean, like for us, we kind of just get everything from America, and we would rely on people coming back from college or like one-off times, like coaches would go into spring training, like this one time, like someone goes to spring training, then they come back. And we would be relying on them to provide like, oh, this is the best thing in baseball. But besides that, like we were pretty much like out of the loop just because of like, I'm going to say like just coaches just weren't educated enough, I guess. Yeah. Like in Australia, it's very like old school coaching and that kind of thing. Cause one, there's like, there's no market for it. So that means there's no jobs for it. Even with professional baseball, all the players like have 2 jobs. And like playing baseball is kind of like their side thing. They do like on the weekends because they're only weekend series. So
wow, that's pretty interesting because like as far like Australia is very well known for like sports science in general because it's generally like very well funded over there. Like specifically like applied biomechanics to sports performance. I mean, arguably better than a lot of U.S. programs. Like in America, it's really hard to get applied sports performance, like NIH grant funding for research, whereas that's like a big piece in Australian biomechanics labs. Like I know that when I was looking at like post-grad, places to go for like masters or PhD stuff, like a ton of my professors were recommending universities in Australia. And I think like generally a lot of like really brilliant sports scientists and like sports biomechanists that I know have like come from Australia.
Oh, never mind.
So it's like it's pretty interesting that you say that. Like,
yeah, like for me, like that's insane too. And I think one of the things is like, again, baseball isn't well known, and I guess a lot of the research that they're doing is for cricket or swimming, or like rugby, like just something that's not baseball, because like baseball is like lower than like some random sports. I mean, there's like a whole list on like the Australian Sports Institute website of all the lists that and like percentages of like people that play, and baseball is like on the second page.
Is that including like male? Is that including like just general baseball?
No, it's just general baseball. For us. Like even saying like, oh, I play softball is kind of like, really? Why? You know, so for like being a female playing baseball in Australia isn't like, oh my gosh, that's insane. It's like, oh, okay, like makes sense. It's just like playing softball. Like no one really knows about softball that much. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense, but it also seems like, you know, I mean, because of that, like there are like really good sports scientists over there. So it seems like they would have the resources to do that. It seems like the sport just like lacks popularity.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And it's just like, again, it's like having people that like care or they understand that they need it in baseball. Again, I think it comes back to like education, and people just don't know what's out there. You know, they don't know to bring that to the sport. But I think they're starting to, which is good. I have heard that like they're bringing on a lot of universities in to like the baseball programs to just collect data, analyze it, and just like put like start sorting out like research kind of things that they want to do like on their own.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, that like Australia just starts pumping out, whether it's like biomechanics or just like applied sports performance studies in baseball. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all, because it's just so much easier to get like university grant funding for research over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they like overtook, you know, like maybe U.S. labs or institutes in terms of like publications. I could definitely see that.
Which would be pretty sick, to be honest.
Luisa, you want to talk about how you got into baseball? Because it's a pretty good story, and figure this is the biggest platform you've been on. Our podcast regularly gets at least 200 listeners. So now everyone's going to be able to hear about it.
Yeah. That is actually really interesting. If baseball isn't that popular in Australia, why did you?
I just told you it's a good story, dog. I told you it's a good story. Let her talk.
It's a funny story. So I mean, I went to an all-girls school. So I've been at an all-girls school since like 3rd grade. And then it was 6th grade. We had softball trials. Like no one has ever played softball at my school. Like it was the first intro to it. You only play softball from 5th grade to like 12th grade. And then I tried out for the team. I sucked. The only thing I could do was hit. Then the coach pulled me aside and was like, we're not putting you on the team, but someone just got injured. We just talked to like your HPE coach. She said like, you play tennis, so we assume that you can hit the ball. You know, like we'll put you on the softball team. Ended up like benching the whole season. I sucked, never played. And then it came to like 6th grade. The same thing happened. They actually put me down a grade, and they like kind of like didn't play me again. And then I went home to my mom, and I was like, Mom, this is so fun. Why don't they like let me play? Like I really like softball. I really want to keep playing this. And then she's like, oh, okay, then like we'll sign you up for softball then. And then we like looked around for softball teams. We found one 15 minutes away, and then we found a baseball club 10 minutes away. And if that doesn't like, this doesn't really describe my family. Like she ended up signing me up for baseball because she thought it was the same sport, and because it was closer to our house. Like she hates driving. So she was
5 minutes closer.
No way.
Exactly right. Like if that doesn't describe like my family, like they don't really like sport that much. So for them, like driving someone to like, they'll just drop me off and then go home kind of thing. So baseball field was 10 minutes away, and then softball field was 15 minutes away. I didn't realize I was the only girl at the club. I didn't realize girls didn't play baseball. I was just like, oh, it's the same thing. Like I'm like, I played Wii baseball. Must be the same.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a fun time. I would definitely, my first season there, I didn't stick around for training for the full like duration, the whole season. I was so scared because I was the only girl there, and I sucked. I was so bad. Like, it was terrible.
This was like 6th grade.
Yeah, like 7th grade.
Okay.
That was 7th grade at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I came back for the next season, the parents came up to me and was like, "You came back?" And I was like, "Yeah." Was I not meant to? Yeah. And then it kind of went from there. I just kind of said like yes to everything. I went to every single trial. I never made a team until I was like 16. I just kept going. And it kind of like went from there where I was just like, I'm just having so much fun. And I'm like, I'm going to keep going because I know one day I'm going to get there. Then it got to the point like the team that I played for was like one of the best like in the country. And then we won like a whole bunch of like state titles and stuff. And then in my head, I was like, because all these guys were going to college. And I was like, if I can make this team and they're all going to college, then I can go to college. Yeah. I was like, I have to. And then so when I started like looking at like recruiting things, I was like, yeah, I'm going to play baseball. And they're like, no, we're not recruiting you for baseball. And I'm like, why not? And kind of like went from there. And like, that's when I started like Olympic weightlifting. So I was like, well, if they're not going to put me on the team, then like, I'm going to get stronger. So they have to, like, I'm going to get better. And then I ended up like getting recruited for Olympic weightlifting at Menlo College.
Oh, nice.
And
I didn't know that.
Shout out.
Yeah. And then,
Feed the trees.
and then they kind of, they promised me a spot on the baseball team. So I said yes. And then I signed like the doc saying like, yeah, I'll do weightlifting. And then, I'll play on the baseball team. They ended up like messaging me a couple of weeks later saying like, hey, like all for like weightlifting, we're going to put you on the club baseball team. Ooh. And I was like, no. I was like, no. And then at the time, like the same time, I was like coaching the Queensland national team, like the men's team, and they had a series against a USA team that came over. My head coach actually, so like the head coach that was actually like the college coach that I'm at right now. One of the boys in the outfield got injured. The head coach was like to me, hey, Luisa, you bring your stuff today? And I was like, of course I did. So I just like got to my car, grabbed my bat and stuff because I was already in like my coaching gear and it already had like the uniform on to play. And then he was like, okay, you're going to go play right field today. I was like, yes. So I ended up like playing it against the series against like the USA team. I played like pretty well. And then the coach came up to me afterwards and was like, hey, like we've got a summer program. Did you want to come to the US to like play? Because he asked me, he was like, oh, like you play baseball? And I'm like, yeah, I play baseball. And then, I ended up like moving to LA for the summer, still kind of like planning on committing to Menlo. I was there for 2 weeks in LA. And then my coach came up to me and was like, hey, like, have you thought of just like staying here? Like, we'll offer you a spot on the team. And I was like, yes. So I kind of like cut off Menlo like straight away and was like, sorry, I'm going to JUCO. So, because like that was like the dream, I always knew it was gonna happen. And as soon as like junior college, like that was the plan from the beginning. It was like junior college baseball. I was like, that's what I want to do. Because like in Australia, playing junior college baseball is kind of like it's huge. Like it's just like, oh my God, you're going to play college baseball. So I didn't realize like what junior college was. I had no idea. I just thought like I did it. Like I made it. And I like now I'm here. I'm just like, I can do better than this. I'm like, this isn't it. So
two questions. One, how many times have you told that story? Because it's a really good story, and I'm really impressed that you're like just as enthusiastic as when you first told it to me. So I'm just like, damn, she's got this story on lock. And two,
yeah. I'll answer it. Okay, so I've told the story like a lot because obviously it's funny and it's just like unbelievable. Like it's just stupid. Obviously, there's like a lot of years I missed like explaining like how I got to here. Like I was in North Carolina. Okay, so like I got picked for like the junior Australian team. I said no to them. They're going on a trip to Japan because at the same time I got invited to play summer ball in North Carolina / Virginia. And I was just like, I want to go to America because the trip was longer and it like fed into school time. And so I was like, I want to skip school. I want to go to America instead of like going with the Australian team. And then I ended up going there. I met like a lady who also played college baseball, and she like kind of just like pushed me. She was like, hey, if you want to do it, do it. And I was like, that's it. Like I'm doing it. So like there's a lot of turning points in my life. And like, those are some like huge ones, but like they're like kind of the main ones. So I've told that story like a lot because it's just like, it's just funny, it's just like,
That's what I'm saying. I figured, and I was impressed by you like still bringing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, my mom drove me to baseball practice. It was closer, but like each time you tell a story, you're engaged. And second was so given that you were like obviously following baseball stuff more close in America, I know you're like you're obviously a big Driveline fan, big Eric Sim fan. So just like curious, like what other heroes? I mean, obviously a big fan of me. What
you guys.
Heroes, What are there kind of like people that you look up to when you're like coming up playing baseball in Australia, or people, or would you follow?
Honestly, like that's so interesting, and like I'm literally gonna say like nobody. There was no one for me to look up to. I had no idea what I was doing. No, like, there was no one I knew that was like doing the same thing I was doing. None of the boys in my city were going to California. They're all going to some random junior colleges in like other states. People I talked to didn't believe that I was going to do it. They didn't believe that I was actually going to America. They didn't believe I was playing baseball. They were surprised when I said I was playing college baseball. Like I would Google people and be like, I don't know who I want to be kind of thing. So one of the people that like, I was actually like their biggest fan. Her name's like Kelsey Whitmore. She played professional baseball when I was 15, and I actually like DM'd her and I was like, oh my God, like you're 17, like I'm 15, like you're playing professional baseball. Oh my gosh, like give me advice. Like you play with like a wood bat. That's crazy. When did you start swinging a wood bat? And it's hilarious because she's actually my trading partner now. So like we always like bring that up where it's just like, hey,
yeah. Wait, this is I talked to Kelsey, right? This it's the girl that you told the document about her. Okay, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, so I set Caravan up with Kelsey because she had questions about like some software that she wants to like develop with her master's degree. Yeah,
it was so random. Yeah, she like messaged me, and I was telling my girlfriend who you guys all know, and I was just like, yeah. It's like I was like, I gotta go talk to this girl tonight. It's like, what are you talking about? And I just like showed her the DM, and she's like what? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go talk to her.
Yeah, so she played professional baseball. She's like super sick, and like right now she's like training without me back in LA at like my old facility. So like I don't know, she's like super sick that like. Now I'm obviously like best friends with Kelsey, and when I was 15, she was like, "Oh my God, you're so famous!" And like now I'm just like, "Oh," I'm like, "Stop it! I lift more than you." I was like, "I lift more than you still." I'm like, "No," so I'm excited. But I mean, like now, hey, I'm friends with Rachel now. So
yeah,
Rachel who?
Yeah,
who's Rachel?
Rachel Luba, I think she's talking about.
Oh, Rachel Luba, she's great. Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
I was actually going to ask because you mentioned I had to hear that Rachel was coming to visit the facility from Luisa. Rachel didn't even reach out to me first.
Why would she?
Yeah, exactly. Rachel who?
Yeah. Why would she reach out to you, Lindley?
Because we're good friends. And I was curious to hear if like it seems like there's a kind of a community of women in baseball, kind of like blazing the trail for future women to like grow up and be playing and coaching baseball. And I was wondering like how like big of a community do you have? Like do you have a bunch of friends in the US and in Australia? And like kind of how do you like grow that? Like how do you reach out to people usually and meet people and things like that?
So I'm gonna say like meeting Rachel was kind of funny because we met at winter meetings last year in 2019. So after I presented at the Boston conference, I got asked to go to the commissioner's office in New York and like walk around the office and like meet people and stuff by the head of the diversity and inclusion department. So like that was the first thing. And that meeting, they actually told me, they said, Luisa, you got to make a Twitter account. And I was like, what? Like, what's Twitter? Because at the time everything of my social media was private because like I like didn't really care. Like what I was doing like wasn't a big thing. That meeting they told me make everything public, make a Twitter account, and like just wait. Like it's gonna happen. I was like, all right, fine. So like that like this started there. Then at that meeting they invited me to winter meetings. They had a diversity and inclusion weekend, so it was like 2 days or 3 days, and we got to sit in and they just gave us like speeches. that's where Rachel was. She gave a speech about like being hired by the Yankees, and she got hired like a week earlier. So I had heard of her, and then it was like a week. I was like, oh my God, like she's on the stage. I was like, what? And she was like, just the way she talked, I was like, you're exactly like me. And internally, I was like, this, like, it gives me like so much hope, because she also did like Olympic lifting and all that kind of things. And I was like, it's me, like that's literally me. And so she came off the stage, and like straight away, like tens of people just like run up to go talk to her, because obviously she just got named the coach, like first female, you know, like people want to talk to her. So I was like kind of like waiting back, and I was like, I'm gonna catch her like off guard and like try to talk to her. And then she was like walking to another meeting, and I like grabbed it. And I was like, Rachel, I was like, I play college baseball. Like, I'm trying to like get stronger. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I still suck. And she looked at me, and she was like, oh, I don't have time to talk to you right now. And I was like, okay. And then so she left. And then the next day we had like a round table meeting kind of thing. Like, that was part of the program. Like, you got to like sit at tables and like meet influential people in baseball. So like she was at one of the tables that I was sitting at, and then they said like, hey, introduce yourself. And so then I introduced myself, and then she looked at me, and she's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And then after that, like I got a picture with her, and then she posted the picture on her Instagram, and then that's how I knew. I was like, me and Rachel are friends now. I was like, that's pretty sick. And then after that, turned out we had like 3 mutual friends. When I coming back to LA, she went to school with a bunch of guys that I actually trained with and like coach me right now. They ended up calling Rachel and being like, you know, like, yeah, we know Luisa. Luisa's like trains here too. And then then after that, like she kept up with all my like lifting videos, and she like messages me like a lot. And then, since working at Driveline, you know, just being like, oh, okay. Then she's coming now, and she's gonna be my roommate. So I'm super excited it's gonna be hectic. It's gonna be.
Wait, Rachel's moving into the house with Alex and Anthony?
No. I'm with Gordo right now. I moved to Gordo.
Oh,
Luisa was kicked out.
That is a busy house.
Luisa was kicked out.
Yeah, I was kicked out. I cleaned too much.
That would be absurd.
Yo, wait, real quick, is that true? I know you were telling Katie that the only way the house stayed clean was you cleaning it. Like, be honest, and I'll try to mute Brady if I can on the Zoom. But is that like what was the kind of the split on cleaning? Obviously, my brother did nothing, but what was kind of the split there?
I'm gonna say like I don't know if anyone else did the dishwasher, but I did it every day. I know Brady left his pizza stuff out.
Oh, okay. Just to be clear, I don't use the dishwasher. I just hand wash everything. So
anyway, I wake up in the morning, and there's a knife that has pizza sauce on it.
That's happened before. That's a classic Brady move. That's happened before.
Can confirm.
That's
clearly
an Andy knife. Clearly an Andy.
That's what?
And then I'm eating my homemade dinner. Brady walks in with
homemade dinner of 3 Dick's cheeseburgers. Is that what you're gonna call a homemade dinner?
And this one time, I nearly ran Brady over because he was running across the road from the Dick's.
No. I was going to the gas station to get some water.
Oh yeah, okay.
You get some water?
And then he comes in. I'm like, Brady, I nearly ran you over, and he has this like bag of burgers. I was like,
I think you're thinking of someone else.
Yeah, okay.
That's hilarious. All right, Luisa, okay. 17 days in to the internship. What's your favorite part about the interning so far?
I'm gonna say having my own track account, because I'm like very antsy about like my programming. So being able to have control of my track account is a huge unlock.
That's cool.
Who's paying you to say this right now?
Yeah.
Is someone in CR paying you? Or
no, this is like,
is Mike paying you to pay this?
No, so like Andrew like messaged me, because I did online training for like 4 months, like for hitting, and he messaged me. I was like, hey, do you have any like feedback for like the online training side? And I was like, yeah, give me access to the track account, because like it's never right. Like I just want to fix it. And I kind of like with my programming, if I take a day off or something, or like I get like something hurts or I don't want to do something that day, I want to be able to move it and not feel bad that I skipped it.
Yeah.
So
if you ate too many cheeseburgers the day before, you want to change it accordingly.
Hey man,
that makes sense.
I would stop talking if I was you. I don't eat as many as you.
I have eaten dicks a lot, but I have never, ever eaten 7 burgers in one day.
It was like in the You know what?
Just to be clear, no denial.
I was hungry
there.
that day. I was hungry.
Yeah, admitted.
I mean, Brady, she's still like playing, dog. What's your excuse? She's playing. She's out there working out.
Bro, I'm still
trying
playing
to get to the next level.
I'm still playing too.
When is last touch practice?
Okay, first of all, I threw multiple times last week. Also, I gotta shave a couple strokes off my disc golf game. I'm going 3 or 4 times a week. I'm in mid-season form. Hey, as soon as Washington goes to phase 3, Hockey Freak's back in action too. So I'm very much.
That might be a while though. That might be a while.
Yeah, I hope not though. I hope not.
Oh, dude.
It's all talk until it happens.
Yo,
Luisa, I will. Okay, when do you want to do live ABs? When do you want to do live ABs?
Hey, give me a time and a place. I will be there.
Okay.
I will be there. Trust me.
Okay, give me like a week and a half to get ready.
If you throw anything below 92, I will hit it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, unfortunately, all my fastballs are 93 to 94. So
I hope so. I hope so.
Wish, dude.
Yo, Luisa, as a top fan of the Driveline R&D podcast, what are your favorite moments? What are your favorite moments in our storied podcast history?
I mean.
And by the way, I did not prep her for this, so this is
okay.
Off the cuff.
The ones I mentioned, I guess on my first Twitter of oh, you guys, I was so confused about the whole marathon thing. I was like, what marathon? I'm so confused. I was like, is it a real marathon? Is it a computer marathon? I was like, I don't really know. And then Brady complaining about not having a car. Oh, and it breaking down on the way to Arizona, I think it was. I was like, ha.
So something bad happening
halfway.
to me was your favorite part of the podcast.
And another thing that I'm really impressed by is that Brady sounds exactly the same in person than he does on the podcast.
Oh, so he's got good audio. It's because it's because he records.
I'm the primary host of the podcast.
Or he's got 1-speed audio.
Okay.
Well, I told this to Caravan, but when I would listen to you guys, I would never watch anything live, or I'd never watch anything on YouTube. I would only watch it listen to it on Spotify, and I would message Caravan when you guys didn't have it up on the Monday, because in Australia it was on Tuesday. So I was a janitor at a shopping center. So this one day a week I would clean. I would have the pure joy of being able to listen to you guys, because I would be cleaning and I'd be like, okay, yes, this all makes sense, because I like to keep learning. And it was just I'm working for something better. So being able to hear you guys and talk about all the, I loved it when Lindley, you'd bring up past research things. And I like the blog that you're doing now where you just post reviews on things. I would always go back and try to find the links to just read it, because you guys summed up stuff super well. And it was just new and upcoming. And I know that no one else is talking about it. So that's one thing I really liked about the podcast. But that was kind of how I listened to it. And it was just especially when Caravan stuff was talking about in possible internships, I was like, you guys are describing me. I was like, come on. I was like, no. So I don't know, that was super sick. Being able to listen to you guys in Australia, and then throughout the whole time I was for COVID stuff, and then listening to you guys when I was in LA, driving to the new facility, and then listening to you guys in the house. I would have to hide it, because I said, I was it's weird if I listen to you guys in your own house. I was I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. It was super sick. It was honestly what a turn of events is what I'm gonna say. But yeah,
34 episodes later, and
it's insane. I can't believe it.
Anything
I said,
possible.
This is my favorite podcast. Yeah, just
think...
me playing, getting an AB off you. Am I right?
Okay. We can talk about that later.
He's got a nasty cutter. Because it profiles as a slider. Because I remember when I used to catch Brady, and I'm a pretty good catcher, but everything would just go arm side. I just couldn't catch anything. And it's only because his cutter was nasty. If it wasn't nasty, I would have been able to catch it.
Are you?
Oh, that's why.
You're a right-handed hitter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna be really tough.
I don't know, man. You're all
What are
talk,
your
so.
thoughts on sidearm right-hander?
Hey, I played against Japan. I could do it.
Okay, so here's
good.
my strategy typically. Like, honestly, to be frank with you, what I'm going to do is first at bat, I'm probably going to beat.
Okay.
Fastball to the rib cage.
So I win straight away is
Right,
what you
can
kind of
win
telling
the first
me.
one, but then after that, it's in your head, and then every slider I throw, you're just going to get out of the way.
Honestly, I crush the inside pitches right now. Thank you to Tanner Stokey, my trainer. We're working on inside pitches and sliders. So
all right, let's set this up. We'll find a time, one-on-one, 5 ABs. Maybe we make it a weekly thing. If you get too demoralized, we can cancel it. Totally understand.
We'll vlog it. This will be vlog number 2 for the Driveline R&D podcast.
We can wager a bag of dicks on it. A couple cheeseburgers.
A bag? Both of you guys need 2 bags.
Yeah, we could do live ABs, and then we could have a cheeseburger eating contest afterwards.
I would crush that, honestly. That would be kind of fun. I would crush that. I get those deluxes.
I'm in on a tandem eating contest. I'm down to go 2v2 on cheeseburgers.
Caravans
We
go 2v2. Caravans versus Luisa and I.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, what do you mean? You guys are both on the same team?
Yeah, me and Luisa versus you and Andy.
Ooh.
You and your brother.
I think we take that, dude.
What?
I don't know.
I mean,
I eat a lot of burgers.
I don't know what Luisa.
Are we talking like how long of a time period are we talking? Are we talking like how many you can crush in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? Like what are we talking?
I guess like a reasonable time thing. Definitely not thinking about speed, but just like sheer quantity of burgers. I think I can keep up with Andy.
Guy.
It's just whether or not Luisa can beat you.
You think you take my brother?
I think I can take
I could eat a
Andy.
lot.
Yeah.
Lindley, you should be in our team too. You know what?
But it's gonna be overpowered. I can eat more than all of you guys. So
I don't think so, dude. Dude, you do intermittent fasting, dog. You don't eat till 4 p.m., bro.
exactly, and I crush the biggest meal of the day. Because I wait to eat until the afternoon, then it's just a huge meal. I've always been able to eat a bunch. I actually think that I could eat more than all of you guys.
I'm super in on that now. I definitely want to see it.
All right, this will be the I don't know what rematch. This will be the rematch from the mile race.
Yeah, this will be the first vlog we published since the first one was kind of on quality.
Yeah. Also, Luisa, how has my Twitter game been for the last five or so days?
Honestly, Caravan, you're gonna make it more entertaining.
No, you can't tell him that.
This is good. Oh.
You're not supposed to tell him that.
You're losing interest, man. I tell you. You're lucky in those likes, so.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I just have to think about it. I just don't think about tweeting. So it's just like, I have Lindley's Twitter, and then like I'm also like walking all day, and I just forget, and I'm just like, whatever. But I'll go off. Wait, when's it end? Wednesday at 7:12?
No, tomorrow. I'm pretty sure tomorrow at 7:12.
Oh fuck yeah! I'll go off then. My bad. I forgot. I'll go off for sure.
Luisa, I shouldn't have mentioned it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lindley.
Sorry for myself.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry I threw you under the bus like that. My bad.
That's okay.
Lindley, honestly, I think I got you a follower. Dude.
I am back up. Yeah. I gained the ones that I lost.
Nice.
No, I've been getting you followers. What you haven't been seeing also is the DMs I send and I delete right away.
No. Stop.
No.
Don't put that in my head.
No.
Anyways, we'll have the link. We'll have the link to Luisa's SABR presentation in the description, and to her socials at Luisa Gauci.
We'll also include in the description below the amount of Dick's cheeseburgers she's eaten since moving to Seattle. It's a lot. You'll be amazed.
I'm gonna say 15, maybe 16.
Yeah,
15
like 3
sitting?
days. So
No, like 3 days. Like, yeah, give or take like a week. I've been there. Oh no, I was there like what, 10 days. Okay, you guys live like 2 houses down. Why can I have to? Like, I smell it driving past, and I'm just like, I should get a burger for dinner. And then I just do it.
No, I'm super not eating contest.
Good.
I think you guys are underestimating me because I'm so shredded, but I'm a pretty fucking fast eater. Hey,
bro. I mean, I'm down for the competition. I guess in November, December, whenever we can.
Whenever.
That's a good point.
I mean,
and then Brady, I'm down to veteran live ABs because I'm going to verse Eric Sim at the pro day. So I mean,
are you?
May as well get. Yeah, he retweeted my call out to him. So need to get my practice in. I tell you, I'm trying to get Trevor Bauer to verse me, but we'll see. We'll see how that.
How long is Rachel going to be in town for?
I think she doesn't actually have an end date. So she's, I don't know, be here a while. Maybe not a while.
If you can get her to stay until I get back there, I'm down for a lifting contest.
Yeah, she said you're into it. Yeah.
With some handicaps, because but you know.
Caravan needs him, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's going to be very, very frail after a lot of walking.
Bro, do you want me to pull up that muscle up video again? Do you want me to pull up that shitty quality muscle up video and put it to the camera again? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Definitely not. Okay. Links will be in the description. Everyone, thank you for listening. Driveline Research and Drinks Podcast, episode 34. We'll be back next week.